Okay, we are live. This is always the really fun part where we get to wait for people to stream in and talk about waiting for people to stream in. My name is Billy. I am the Vice President of Nutrition and Communication for Green Juju, and I am here with the most important member of Green Juju, the never to be overshadowed Kelly Marion, who is the owner and founder.
Thank you. It's my
So
honor,
we are.
presence of a celebrity.
so So we are very, very excited to be here with you guys today, and we hope you're excited. In fact, in the comments, if you could tell us how excited you are about us releasing some brand new stuff. And I myself am excited because I think, this is by far the biggest thing we've ever done. And you know, for us, it's been a journey, and having been with Green Juju for almost 3 years, and really, isn't that crazy? Having hit the ground running right when we started, and releasing new products, and trying to really be as innovative as possible, I think this one is kind of the most exciting. So it looks like there's people starting to come in here, and hi to Amanda at Nautical Dog.
Last name?
Amanda, your last name is at Nautical Dog. So yeah, so, and hi to Peter as well. And so, Kelly, before we talk about what this new product is, why don't you tell me and everyone else why you're excited?
Oh man, why I'm excited. When I started this company 10 years ago, I never ever imagined that it would get to this point. As a consumer, like all of you guys are, I've always dreamed of having certain things that I could buy for my dogs, and I never imagined that this company would make what I dreamed of. Unfortunately, I don't have a dog anymore, but it's still super exciting to launch what we're about to launch and have it out in the world for all the other dogs, and all the things that I've learned over the years and wanted to implement, or we made happen. My food designer helped me create my food, and there's the release, I guess.
Exactly. I will tell you this, like, from my own personal experience, like, going into a pet store and seeing something and being like, I made that, never gets old. Like, it really is. Not only is it like humbling and my pleasure to make animals' lives better, but just a really cool experience. And this will be, I guess, an extension of that. So, and just so you guys know out there, we don't like really talk that much about what we're going to talk about. So that was a total surprise question for Kelly, that she had to come up with on the spot. Um, so, Kelly, why don't I know you have it? So I'm here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and you are there in Seattle, Washington. So why don't we start by, why don't you show us what you have there?
You want me to say or show?
Either. How about both?
Okay. So as you guys might have expected, this is the launch of our raw frozen food, which is the exact same recipes as our freeze-dried food, just in a frozen format. So I have lots of pretty things to show you. These are the beef patty bags. So this is going to be a 6-pound, 8-ounce patties. We have our pork, lamb, the rabbit with duck liver, and the goat. These will also all come in 48 1-ounce sliders. And then we will also have 18-pound bulk boxes, which I don't have with me today. Yeah.
So, and a little bit about the bulk boxes. So those will not. The only one that will not be included in the bulk boxes is the rabbit with duck liver. But we will have. Peter says, will there be bison? There will not be bison. That's the only one we're not doing, and that's just because there is a finite number of, when it comes to bison sourcing. And we don't want to put something out and be out of it or reduce the quality of what we're doing. So we do have, though, 5 very novel proteins that we're doing. And we do have the spectrum of cooling to neutral to warming when it comes to Chinese medicine. And we are, one of the cores of our company is dogs who are sensitive, cats who are sensitive, which is a good time to remind people that this is the same formula, as Kelly mentioned, as the freeze-dried food. So this is complete and balanced for dogs and cats as well. And this will really help you when it comes to, hey, if you have 3 dogs and 2 cats, the 18-pound bulk box, I think, is really going to help you. And Kelly, this would be a good time as well to talk maybe a little bit about Astro.
Yeah, you're really throwing me off today. So Astro, we have a mixed bag of people watching here, but Astro is a program that a lot of retailers run that is it can be a few things, but mostly it's a frequent buyer program. So we are going to be participating in their frequent buyer program. So all of these, every product we have is buy 12, get one free. So when you're buying something like food that you buy regularly, that adds up pretty quickly and gives you a nice little discount.
Exactly. And we really do try, we're a small company, and we're also, as Kelly mentioned, obviously consumers of things that, and I think we both pride ourselves on, what we put into our own bodies and our family's bodies and our dogs' bodies. I can say for myself, I was up on taking a little vacation, and I was more excited to go to this like co-op grocery store than I was probably about anything on that trip. Mm-hmm. And so we don't want, price to be a barrier. And so we do try to price this as competitively as possible for all of you. And, the other great thing is we love to partner with all of the independent stores out there. And the fact that you guys are spending your money in your local economy with people, and people who are vetting the products and who have it in the store means a lot to us as well. And just to go a little bit over the formula again, it is complete for dogs and cats. And when we did the freeze-dried version of this, we really kind of waited until we could get, a really great idea and something that's totally different, because we try to do something that's different, not just for the sake of being different, but to push nutrition further. That's kind of my whole goal and mantra, is like, we haven't figured out the best diet for a dog and cat, so we need to continually look at science and incorporate new things, new concepts. And that's where this concept came from, which is the most limited ingredient diet on the market. It's 3 ingredients from an allergy perspective, or 4 if you're feeding the rabbit with duck liver. And all of the 99% of the nutrients actually come from the organs themselves. So from heart, kidney, liver. And these are the most nutrient dense parts of the animal. And they're the most nutrient dense forms of those vitamins, say retinol, vitamin A versus beta carotene or something like that. So this is sort of the most efficient limited ingredient diet. And we're carrying that right over to frozen, because we know that freeze-dried isn't for everyone, but we know it's for some people. And so we wanted to have both options on the market. And we didn't need to do anything to the formula to make it better, because I think we did something really amazing on the other one.
Okay, good.
Oh, that was the end of my soapbox. So if you had something to say.
A few things. Going back to the consumer piece, like, this is what I always dreamed of in a food, was something that didn't have a fish oil, because my dogs were always reactive to that. So having a food that has the correct omega-3 to 6 ratio, just based off correct sourcing, is a dream to me. And then also something without synthetic vitamins. What I love about this food is that it's a base, and so it's complete and balanced on its own. And then if you have either a sensitive dog, or you just like to be in charge of how you rotate things, you can use this as a base and then put in different blends or different bone broth or goat milk or paste or whatever you want to create different meals. So this is really my dream in terms of that. I've seen a few questions about life stages. So this is going to be a terrible representation here, but let's try. Over there. So we do have different feeding amounts for young adult through senior, nursing, pregnant, and puppies. So once you have access to the packaging, or you want to email us and ask us, we can tell you all of that info.
And by that, you mean I can tell them all of that info?
Yes, he doesn't work enough, so just send him over. Rachel, this is my dream too. I'm so glad you share in that. Yeah, okay. What else you got? Back on the soapbox?
I just totally lost my train of thought. But that's because I was listening to you so intently.
Oh, nice.
Someone asked if it's complete and balanced. It is complete and balanced. And I'm just looking through the questions here. We have not added cat to the packaging, but we do have the feeding amounts for cats. So if you have a cat and would like to feed this food, feel free to email us and I can send those over. Also, the number one thing we get asked about when it comes to cats is just how we make sure there's enough taurine. But that's okay. But with the number one source of taurine in nature is organs, essentially. And so obviously we more than reach those thresholds for taurine without actually having to put it on the label. Because if they put it on the label, it means they're adding the synthetic version of taurine just to make sure. But I would say that's more of a just so you read it sort of thing. So just FYI, reach out to us if you need to do that. Looks like Peter rotates through all of the veggie blends. Oh, the other thing to talk about too, as with our freeze dried, but I think this will pertain to more people with the frozen as well, is we have created these to be complete and balanced and be an extremely limited diet, but we've also formulated them to work with all of our other products. And I think that's a very important point because yes, you can make a food that's, complete and balanced by AFCO I was out of the frame there, complete and balanced by AFCO standards. But that also still doesn't mean that's the only thing your dog should get for the rest of its life or your cat. So we really need to, as a people, we really need to move away from feeding dogs and cats like some farmers feed like sheep and goats and this one particular feed that you're feeding. So we highly recommend that if you have a sensitive animal, especially, you start with the food and get them sort of stable on that, but then start adding in other things. Like if you're talking about Peter in the comments rotating between our veggie blends, we recommend you do that, and you can use the recommended dose with the food and it's not going to throw anything off, or using our raw milk and just reducing the food in calories or the bone broth. So all of this is essentially going to be able to be used together, which I think is exciting because I know for me, I really like to switch up my dog's diet, but I also like to do it with things that are extremely convenient. So the way that I switch up Huckleberry's diet is with things that are just in my fridge. And so whether it's the blends or Bam's beets, or I'm adding an egg or whatever it is, I don't really have the time to do, say, like a prep day or something like that. But what I do have time to do is put together something made up of whole foods that I find in the fridge. And luckily, our family eats well as well, so that helps. But that's kind of, we want to make this easy for you. We don't, we want you to have confidence in what you're feeding, but also make it easy to kind of go through different scenarios. So, Kelly, I guess the last point to be made here would be when people can expect this to be in stores.
Yeah. So we will be launching this at the Global Pet Expo, which is mid-March. And it will be ideally in our distributors' warehouses by then and ready for retailers to order. So we're hoping that it starts popping up in stores early April. That being said, letting your retailer know that you want to see it in their stores is always a good step to getting it there sooner. So that's always helpful. There are some questions about calories per ounce. That's going to vary per protein. We're working on some PDFs that will break all that down. So I think we'll share.
Yeah, in the meantime, that you can email us as well. And I mean, it's a scale. So obviously the rabbit with duck liver is the lowest in calories. The lamb is the highest. But the other great thing about, and this holds true to our freeze dried as well, and it's obviously true in our frozen is the goat, the pork, and the beef all have basically the same amount of calories because we're working from the same organs essentially. So the cool thing is, what?
Run through these really quick.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's a good point. You have them in front of you.
I do. So the goat is 39 calories per ounce. What are you? You look like bison. The rabbit is 34 calories per ounce. The lamb is 51 calories per ounce. The pork is 39 calories per ounce. And the beef is 36 calories per ounce.
So they're all
Then a couple questions about venison. We don't have venison. We do have venison bone broth. The goat is warming and drying. It's kind of a unique protein. It's really good for yeasty dogs. Answering Peter's question there. Sorry, I'm going off on some tangents.
Oh no, well we're here to answer questions. And so it's actually kind of interesting because as you can see, we're actually working off of, because of the way that we formulated this, using high amounts of the same organs essentially. They're all basically, aside from the lamb, and the lamb is heart and liver, and then the bone content is actually from lamb necks, and then there's actually some residual muscle meat on those necks as well. And so it just goes to show you, like, lamb is just higher in fat, which is interesting even when you're dealing with, because organs typically have like a nice like fat layer around them. But so that one's kind of an outlier, and we have on a feeding calculator on our website that can kind of show you. But it just goes to show you, even if you're feeding the rabbit with duck liver, they're all basically the same amount of calories. I mean, you're talking about a 5-calorie difference, so you don't really have to switch it out. So it's kind of the plot method of feeding, if you will, because you don't have to worry about those couple calories. So all the other 4, if you're going through them, you can really just do the same amount essentially.
Yeah. Are these patty format? So Rachel, I'm very excited about these. As kids of the 80s, these are square patties. So the 8-ounce patties are squares, and then the sliders are also little tiny 1-ounce squares. We thought that would be fun just to have a different shape. Also super easy for people to portion if they need to do half or a quarter. So yeah, we're excited about that. There's another question back in here about cooking the raw. I have definitely done that with other foods. What do you think, Billy?
I don't know. I kind of go back and forth. I think because it falls on the person to how they cook it, that kind of thing. But my thinking would be, because these are ground very finely, if you've cooked something, a similar format food in the past, and it's been successful for your dog in a specific way, you could do this one. It's probably where I would.
I think the thing too, as my dog got older, she wanted cooked food. And the thing you want to watch out for with this is the bone, because you don't want to feed them like cooked bone. So with my dog, I basically just warmed it up. I wasn't necessarily like cooking it, but I just warmed it. And I think that didn't really change the structure of anything in there. So to Billy's point, just it depends on how you're cooking it.
Yeah. And I want to do, I see you, Godfrey's. Welcome to Dogdom store, only about 40 minutes north of me here. But just a quick hit all of your, because you came in late. We do provide a complete nutritional analysis if you email us. It's actually basically the same nutritional analysis as our freeze-dried, because it's exactly the same food. It's okay to start puppies on it. And we do have the different feeding amounts for puppy, lactating, pregnant, etc., on the bag for you there. So
there have been a few questions about what cats can have. We just did a post on Instagram last week, I think, that broke down all of our products and what cats can have everything. Some things are more beneficial than others. So we broke all that down on the post last week. So if you head over to Instagram or Facebook, you can check that out. Will a co-op be able to buy in bulk? To be honest, we sell to all distributors, and then our distributors to sell to retailers or co-ops. We don't always know. We don't always know when a co-op's buying. So maybe.
And by the way, Autumn from Canada says hello. And for all of you in Canada, this food will be available as well. So we're very excited about that. We were able to spend some time near Toronto recently, and also we were in Western Canada last year, but we didn't really go there. So we're spending more time in Western and Eastern Canada. So very excited as a company to be up with you guys and that the food is available. All right. Anything else, Kelly, that you would like to say before we conclude?
Yeah, a couple things.
Okay.
Will it be on our website eventually? But we always give retailers a good few months to get everything in stock. So definitely go to your retailer first. Let's talk about food safety. We have some questions in there about that.
Cool. So if you're wondering about food safety generally, we just did a great video last week that you can check out as well, which is on our all of our social media. But so we do high pressure processing and test and hold. So high pressure processing is a really great food tool, which is great because it's really benign when it comes to how it affects the nutrients, but then also it provides enough pressure to really destabilize and destroy the pathogenic bacteria, so we can avoid Salmonella, Listeria, and E. coli. And then we also do test and hold, which means we're testing every batch before it hits your pet's bowl for any potential pathogens. And I would say the third aspect of that as well is the sourcing, so you just have less of a pathogen load from properly sourced animals. So an animal that's outside, an animal that's healthy, an animal that's eating the diet it's supposed to eat. And our sourcing is second to none. And so we think with all three of those things in place, then we have an incredibly safe and nutritious and raw food.
Yep. We have different food safety protocols for all of our products, but for any ground meat product, we are using HPP. We have a lot of great videos that describe why we've chosen to use that process, why we feel like it's the best way to keep a raw food raw and to keep our food safe, which as pet food manufacturers is our highest priority, to provide you with nutritious and safe food. Godfrey's, yes. So we double grind. So there are not big chunks of bones. Again, I feel like it's really up to the pet parent's comfort level on that one. But when you see the food, I mean, when you look at foods, you can see how big of the chunks of bone. This is very finely ground. Okay. Anything else? Somebody asked about distributors. You can just email us and ask who our distributor is in that area. I don't know if there's like a published way to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We are happy to help. Well, Kelly, is there any final notes or anything you want to say to everyone watching?
I'm just so excited. This is just a dream. I am so excited, and I hope that you guys love this food as much as we do. Do you have the actual raw patties? Oh, Peter, let me find you a photo. I was hoping you'd ask. This has just been such a fun project to work on, and something that has been kind of challenged in this business for me is saying no. I hate saying no. And with the freeze-dried food, it was such a success and people loved it, but it's not suitable for larger dogs. It's just, it's very expensive to feed, an 80-pound dog freeze-dried food. So we're really excited to have a cost-effective way to feed dogs of all sizes and have the bulk boxes available and just be able to cover everybody that wants to feed this. So, okay, Peter, this isn't the most beautiful presentation, but this is what I have.
Well, it looks beautiful to me. And
they're just in a plastic bag. They're not like...
Exactly.
They could do a better job.
Yes. Well, and the last thing I'll say is, we're really approaching this from a different angle. Traditionally, every company that's come out starts with food and then gets into the supplemental range as they grow. And so we are actually doing this completely opposite. And what's that?
Everything backwards.
Yeah, and I think it really does help us though to get to where we wanted to be quality wise and both idea wise. So we started out as, what you built over the last 10 years is this incredible reputation and these incredible innovation and the quality that you have in the whole food supplements that we make. And I say that because what we're doing is whole food supplementation is just totally different than supplementation in general. Like we're just putting together what nature provides in the easiest format for your dog or cat to digest. And so we built this reputation and have these amazing products. And it's really cool to then go to food, because then we can kind of like as I mentioned, we can kind of formulate to those products, but just to be in a whole different segment. And then for us, what excites me is to say, like, what is the core of this company is just greens. And what is the reason why it's so great is because it's just putting together simple ingredients in a unique way in order for the body to get all of these whole foods. And for me, it's like we did the same thing with the food. And I think it just puts us in a different place, in a different category. And so I'm very excited about that. So, all right. Well, thank you guys for coming. Really appreciate that. If you have any other questions, you can feel free to email us at info@greenjuju.com. And again, what?
There's been so many questions about, like, can you recap? We're going to be doing a post that recaps the proteins, the sizes, all the things. So look for that shortly after this if you still have questions.
Yes, you can also rewatch the video because we go in the beginning, we went through everything as well. And so as always, thank you so much. We genuinely appreciate that you trust us with your pet's health, and it's a dream for us to be able to make this food for you. So thank you guys so much. Everybody have a good day, and we will see you soon.
Thank you.